Ag Bioscience, the #1 ag tech podcast globally, is now available on video. Hear from leaders and innovators across food, animal health, plant science, ag tech, and agriculture. Mondays at 6 a.m. on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. While you're there, subscribe and leave us a review. It's the Ag Bioscience Podcast with Agronovis Indiana. Get more information at agronovisindiana.com.
The internet changed how we work. AI is changing what work gets done. A bank cut loan processing from days to hours. A student built an AI scheduler, improving on-time delivery from under 70% to over 90%. Most teams know AI matters, but aren't sure where to start. InAI is Indiana's statewide AI adoption effort, built with industry, academia, and community partners, helping you move from understanding to action. Visit inaiready.com.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Tuesday, July 7th, 2026. I'm Abriana Herron. The Indiana Family and Social Services Administration released new information Monday regarding updated work requirements for eligible members of the Healthy Indiana Plan, or HIP. In 2025, the Indiana General Assembly approved a bill creating the work requirements that were originally set to go into effect this summer, but were pushed to January 1st, 2027 to bring them in line with federal requirements. The new requirements will apply to eligible HIP members ages 19 through 64. Those who are not exempt will be required to complete 80 hours per month in qualifying activities, including employment, job training, part-time education, or community service. In a virtual press conference with reporters on Tuesday, FSSA Secretary Mitch Robe said the work requirements align with the way the United States has structured access to health care.
Individuals who are connected to work or training are more likely to maintain continuous coverage, pursue preventative care, and build long-term financial stability.
In addition to the 80-hour requirement, which can be completed through a combination of qualifying activities, individuals must show compliance for 3 consecutive months prior to applying for HIP. For those applying in January 2027, they must show compliance in October, November, and December of 2026. Elkhart General Hospital on Tuesday announced the expansion and renovation of its emergency and trauma center. The $37 million project aims to increase capacity while reducing wait times and improving the patient experience. The hospital, which is part of South Bend-based Beacon Health System, said the emergency department will feature an expanded trauma center with upgraded care spaces and equipment, private patient rooms, 4 dedicated behavioral health rooms, and improved access for ambulances and patients arriving by car. Aviation Technology, an aircraft maintenance, inspection, and aviation support services provider headquartered in Louisville, is expanding with a new Indiana-based division. The company has launched Aviation Technology Interiors following the acquisition of a fully operational facility at Anderson Municipal Airport. The company did not disclose its financial investment in launching the division. The acquisition did include the specialized equipment, facility enhancements, and the recruitment of an experienced aircraft interiors team. The company called the expansion one of the most significant milestones in its 25-year history. Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand is made possible by the following.
Thanks for listening to this IBJ Media podcast. You're probably going to remember this ad. Do you know why? Podcast advertising works. 85% of listeners recalled hearing an ad during a podcast, and 70% of podcast listeners have acted after hearing an ad. So whether you're looking to be heard across the entire IBJ Media Podcast Network, sponsor one of our shows, or just start with a 30-second ad, IBJ Media can help. Contact advertise at ibj.com to learn more.
Indiana child care providers and advocates are pushing back against proposed state rule changes they say could lower the quality of care. Inside Indiana Business's Alex Brown has more.
About 24 child care providers and advocates urged state officials Monday to reject proposed rule changes that would lower education requirements for child care workers. Under the proposal, child care center directors would no longer need a college degree. Instead, they could qualify with 2 years of experience and a child development associate credential. Lead caregivers would only need a high school diploma or equivalent, and lower-level caregivers wouldn't need to have completed high school, although they'd still have to be at least 18 years old. The Family and Social Services Administration says the changes are designed to reduce costs for providers and families. But many providers argued those changes would weaken the profession. They said lowering education standards won't solve the industry's staffing shortages, arguing low pay and burnout are the real problems. Some speakers did support portions of the proposal, including allowing more electronic record keeping and requiring active shooter drills twice a year. But many also opposed changes that would allow children to sleep on sleeping bags instead of cots, loosen diaper changing requirements, and permit portable wading pools. State officials are expected to adopt the final regulations on July 13th. The changes are planned to take effect in October. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
The Notre Dame Arts Initiative has awarded 38 grants totaling more than $400,000 to support programming for the university's inaugural Arts Biennial. The International Arts Festival, scheduled for January through June of 2027, will showcase theatrical premieres, regional dance and music festivals, multimedia installations, visual art and architecture exhibitions, arts education programs, and visiting artists. The festival itself was first announced in March of 2025. Organizations receiving grants are 16 regional community partners, 19 campus units, and 4 Notre Dame global locations. 60 additional campus units and organizations also will collaborate. And the Indiana Department of Natural Resources unveiled 45 all-terrain track chairs that would be available at the Indiana State Parks and State Park Inns for Hoosiers with mobility limitations, a move that is garnering rave reviews from users. Indianapolis-based Lilly Endowment Incorporated funded the 45 track chairs that rolled out statewide this spring, with about $1 million in funding that came from a $50 million grant. The track chairs might be intimidating at first, but Stephanie Howells told Inside Indiana Business that people shouldn't be afraid because they'd be missing out on a special kind of joyride. She says she feels like she got her mobility back.
I was like gone. I was like, see ya! They can't keep up with me.
Indiana now has more track chairs than any other state park system, making it #1 in the country. The track chairs come with special clips to attach accessories like fishing poles. They also come with adjustable safety harnesses so children with disabilities can hit the trails as well. I'm Abriana Herron for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.